Please be advised that Little Miss Recap contains adult language. Please enjoy this free preview of our Sister Wives coverage. To hear the full unedited episode, please join us over on Little Miss Recap Extra by clicking either Patreon or Supercast, link in the show notes. Thanks so much. Hi everyone, welcome to Little Miss Recap, the podcast where we meet with our spouse for an appointment at a regional restaurant instead of just driving over to their house and talking to them.
I was just going to say, is there a reason that every serious conversation they have has to happen at a restaurant?
I don't know. Is it because it's neutral ground?
I think it's because the idea that they won't freak out in a restaurant, but they always film these in empty rooms anyway.
Cody will 100% freak out in a restaurant.
Cody don't give a shit. But I think the women feel a little safer. I have to admit, I've used that tactic in my day.
Okay. Yeah, I've used it too. I'm just going to warn you ahead of time. We're going to break out the shame bell once or twice here.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Because there were times where I was like, does he have a point?
I'll be real curious what points you think he had, because I didn't feel like there were many points, but
look,
you know, what do I know?
99.9% of the time he's a wrong piece of shit.
Oh yeah.
But there was one time that I was like, I don't even know if it was that he had a point. I was like, okay, I could see his argument here. I understand the argument he's making.
Sometimes I can understand how he gets there. I don't agree with how he got there, but I see the steps that got him to where he thinks he is. Also, I would like to point out for our viewers, and a very important thing, during the Salsa Bravo, whatever it is, conversation with Janelle, there's some really good views of his hair island.
Okay.
So some times where the front curls seem to distance themselves from the back curls. And I think Lindsay can get some more info based on what we see in this episode.
Yeah, I think so too. It was interesting. Let's put it that way.
It was.
I would also like to tell our viewers, apparently on the Manosphere calendar of the day, it was transmute.
Transmute.
Which isn't that when you change like a chemical into another chemical?
I believe so. I was actually I knew that wasn't the right word. I'm going to look up transmute for us. Change in form, nature, or substance.
Okay. So like if you change a solid to a gas, for example, you're transmuting.
Correct. The
I
example
know this from World of Warcraft because you can transmute gems.
The two examples they give it, the raw material of his experience was transmuted into stories.
I don't think he was using it wrong.
No,
it's just not. You don't hear that used that way often.
No, they definitely use amiable wrong because they mean amicable.
They mean amicable.
But
100%.
This might not be wrong. But still, he gets words. He gets like vocal tics of words that he cannot let go for a while.
Yes.
And then it'll be a new one. And then it'll be a new one. So I wonder how long transmute will last for us.
He 110% got that off a Word of the Day calendar. And okay. All right. Okay.
Sure.
So Amanda, can you give me a drum roll for comment of the week? Okay. Comment of the week actually finally goes to Patrick Jones.
Yay, Patrick.
So Patrick writes, sue that asshole for child support. He'll call then. And I brought this up because I wanted to talk about child support and the Brown family. So I wanted to use this comment to spark that conversation. So let's talk about child support, shall we? Now, in Utah, which is, I'm assuming is where Christine would have to file for child support because that's where she lives.
That makes sense, yes.
Paternity must be established before child support is paid. So if they are unmarried, which they are, the father does not have to be on the birth certificate for her to get child support. All she has to do is drag Cody in front of a judge with the DNA test.
Okay.
And there we go. And we all know truly Grace Brown belongs to him.
Oh, of course she does. And we have years of footage of him being a shitty father, but being her father. So he could not come in front of a judge and say, like, I'm not that kid's father.
Correct.
I don't think it's worth. I doubt he pays any child support for Truly.
I agree.
I don't think it's worth it to her.
I
for
agree.
the fight. I think
Mhm.
she weighed, like, how much cash am I actually gonna get out of this guy versus the amount of drama this will create,
Mhm.
and just was like, "You know what? It is I can take care of my kid on my own."
Okay, I also wanted to say when looking to see if they owed money, I found that Cody has a speeding ticket.
Yeah, you were texting me about this last
Mhm.
night, so
He has a
share.
speeding ticket from 2020 and a fine for blocking a driveway. So I don't know what that was about.
You can get a fine
Robin,
for blocking well, I mean, I guess you can. It's a parking ticket, essentially.
yep, Robin has operating a vehicle while using a wireless device.
Okay, so she's us and we are her.
Mhm.
I mean,
Mhm.
you know, the
And
only
Chris
difference is that she got caught doing it and we do it all the time.
100%. And
Yeah.
Christine has failure to obey traffic signal and another one for speeding.
Oh,
How about this? These guys are racking up the traffic violations.
Christine's got herself a little lead foot. I like
I
it. I like
know,
it.
I
Now,
know. And she's
I mean, I will say, don't come to me until you have, $80,000 in Easy Pass tolls that have
mhm, mhm,
accumulated.
mhm,
That's
mhm.
the
My
Browns are nothing.
my theory is that Danielle from
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
from 90 Day. My theory is Christine blew that light and sped away when she was leaving Cody.
That could be it. And if
Mhm.
so, bravo. Good use.
100%.
Good use of that speeding ticket.
Okay. All right. So let's get into this. We are here to talk about Sister Wives Season 18, Episode 6, The Understatement of the Year.
Okay, I did not look up the title, so I'm glad you did.
Okay.
The understatement
I
of the year. Interesting. Okay.
Oh, I know where it is. I know
Okay.
where it is. I
Okay.
am on notes today and I actually have them.
Woo! Look at us.
So we are 10 steps ahead of where I usually am. Okay.
Awesome. We're
So we're
cooking
going
my
to
gas this morning.
we're going to start in Salt Lake where Christine is having Aspen, Mitch, McKelty and Tony over for a paint and sip for Valentine's Day. What are your feelings on paint and sips?
So I've done a couple of them. I've had fun doing it, but then you have this canvas of this print that you want nothing to do with. And that therein lies the
That's
problem.
the problem, right?
I think I'd prefer pottery painting
Yes.
because
Yes.
there's something to take, though I have when I was doing the big move out of my house 2 years ago, I found a number of those paint and sip things that I had accumulated over the years. One year the
Yeah.
first one I ever did was a shell, and in a very Georgia O'Keeffe way, it looked like a vagina, much more than it looked like a shell. Um, but what I did is I took all of them to Goodwill because I learned that art students will go to Goodwill, buy them, paint them white, and then they have
Oh.
fresh canvas to use.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
yeah, so that's a
That's
good
a
use
great
of that.
idea.
Yep.
As somebody whose sister went to art school, I can attest the supplies are ridiculous cost. So I
They
like
are a
that. I like that.
ridiculous cost, but yeah, apparently art students will go and look for those and just paint them white
It's a
and
great
start over.
idea. Great
Yeah.
idea. So we're talking about Valentine's Day. So we're moving right along in the
Yep.
holidays. Next will be at Easter. So, I guess this show every episode is a holiday.
Do you think they're gonna skip over St. Patrick's Day?
Oh, maybe not. I don't know.
I don't know,
Do you think
Mitch looks a little
well, they skipped
leprechaunish.
they skipped over Martin Luther King Jr. Day?
I'm shocked that this family I mean, given that Arizona was the last holdout to actually make it a holiday, if you remember that from way back
Yeah.
in the day,
Yeah.
I don't feel like this family's a big MLK Day celebrator.
Well, I love MLK and I'm going to celebrate. Okay.
I am too, I am too.
Mhm. So Christine's talking a little bit about Valentine's Day and she says it's not a polygamous friendly holiday.
You don't say.
And Janelle says, I don't want to do Valentine's Day with Cody. Ew. Like, she's totally like, "Ugh."
How do you feel about Valentine's Day?
Eh, whatever. It's just
I
another excuse to go out to dinner, but we don't exchange cards and we don't do gifts.
I don't care for it. I've never been a fan.
Yeah.
Relationship, not relationship. I feel like it's a Hallmark bullshit holiday. And if the day
Hmm.
you're telling me you love me is this day and you don't do it the other 364, I have no
Exactly.
time for you. However, Todd didn't believe me when I said that. So he now does things because he thinks somehow he'll get in trouble.
I understand.
So now I
Yeah.
do things. But we don't go
Mhm.
out to dinner because I refuse to waste the money. I will happily make us a nice dinner.
Yeah, we go out to dinner because I just hate cooking 364 days a year. So, we'll go out to dinner, but do not buy me a card. I
Okay.
am a writer and every card sucks unless you really dig and find the perfect one, and no
Hmm.
one ever does.
No.
So, like I always say to Timmy, if you bring a card in this house, I'm going to throw it in the garbage. Like I don't want it. So, I'm anti-card.
Cool. Okay.
Like I'd rather him just write me a note. Write me a little
Yeah.
note. That's better.
I'd rather
Okay.
flowers on a random Tuesday than on Valentine's Day.
100%.
You thought of me randomly. Cool. Anyway,
Yes.
go on. So here we are
So
with the Browns.
Robin says Valentine's Day is tricky and this whole year is just crap horrible. I hate her so much.
I am so sick of her turning all of this into something that is being done to her.
I know. Meri says, I'm not doing a damn thing for Valentine's Day because you need a Valentine's Day to do Valentine's Day. Like,
You have a
okay.
Valentine. Her name is Jen. We know this.
Christine tells her family when she's at the table that she and Kody once did a paint and sip together, and essentially she threw it in the trash.
Do you think Mitch is mute?
I don't know what's going on with him. Do we think he's terrified? I don't know what's happening.
I think he's really uncomfortable in front of the camera, and
Maybe.
I think he has no interest in it. And if you notice, the only time we ever see them is stuff with Christine. Like McKelty has never found a camera she doesn't want to be in front of.
I know.
I feel like Aspen and Mitch are like, yeah, I'm not interested in this, but I'll do it, Mom, if that's what we need to do to help you be able to afford Truly. It's good.
Yes.
Fine.
Oh, truly.
Truly.
So, all right, now we get some footage of Kody giving all the women roses from a previous season.
I remembered that.
I did too. And Christine tells us, I should have had more empathy for Kody since like he had to give us gifts in front of everybody else. And that was awkward. And then she goes, but now he just has Robin. So I'm sure he's fine.
It's fine. Her
Now-
subtle shade is amazing.
Now Christine reveals that she has hired a matchmaker. And I'm thinking it's a religious thing, but she left the church.
She did leave the church,
But she probably is still conservative. I'm thinking.
Oh, I'm sure she's relatively conservative, but I don't think it's a conservative thing. I think she just feels so afraid of dating.
Well, we get into that.
She's never done it. Like, my best friend married her high school sweetheart. Like, she never really dated. She went on a couple high school dates, but like, didn't date. And she said to me many times, she's like, if my kids need advice about dating, can they talk to you? I'm like,
yeah,
I've dated enough for you, me, and the next 17 people. So that's fine. I got you.
You need the little bit of that shit show under your belt.
You do to understand it. And she has none of it. I mean, Christine has a huge shit show under her belt. It's just not the dating shit show.
Right. Correct. So she tells the camera that she is super nervous about dating. And she says, I didn't have a great intimate marriage at all. So I don't know what's going to happen. And then she says, I want bald, I want tattoos, and I want this guy driving a hog. That's what she says.
Okay.
So
she
got
a lot of that. I doubt the fair Mr. David Woolley has a lot of tattoos. He just doesn't strike me as a tattoo guy.
He might have like one though.
He might. It's distinctly possible. I would not be shocked if he had like an upper arm
tribal
or something on his back or something. Yeah.
So she says, I want someone who's the opposite of Kody. Something that Kody never was, like a partner, a good communicator, someone who's funny, warm, smart, likable, friendly, generous, has good taste in music, a good cook, empathetic, outgoing, all the things Kody isn't. Okay, she only said about 5 of those, but it was hilarious. It was hilarious. Like basically someone who's a decent human being.
Right. Someone who's not a shitbag. I mean, her bar's pretty low. Not a shitbag.
Right. I remember when I got divorced, I was like, the next guy I meet has to have a job. That was the bar. So she tells the kids like she is done with polygamy and she's going for monogamy now. And McKelty says, well, once you try polygamy, what's the point? And then there's this weird conversation with Tony and he's like, you need to try all the ice cream flavors. And she's like, Tony's a little shit. And I don't know what he's trying to do here.
Tony, I think they have a good relationship, but Tony, Christine's not the mother-in-law that you can joke about fucking around with.
No.
So, I'd be the mother-in-law you could joke about that with.
Yeah, not her.
Not Christine.
Hey everyone, stay tuned. Little Miss Recap will be right back after these words. So, Kody's first move, I don't know if you got this, was he sits down and he feels that the water is cold and he shoves it away and goes, cold water.
I know. What is it with this man and this fear of cold water? And I love
Okay.
how Janelle immediately was like, "They're gonna be back in a minute. It's fine."
I feel
She
I know.
knew.
I know. I know.
She
I
knew.
feel like I should have Googled this, but I feel like this is probably one of those health wellness things that
I
drinking hot
think so.
water burns calories faster
Better for
or
you.
amps up your metabolism or warms up your organs. Who knows?
Well, I do know in traditional Chinese medicine, you're supposed to drink at a minimum room temperature water, but it should be a little bit warmer. Exactly for that. Like it's better for your organs or something. I don't
I
know.
bet you he read that somewhere.
I'll, a-
100%.
I'll ask my acupuncturist next time. She'll tell me.
100%. So he's all jolly and it's fucking weird. And he's like,
It
"How are
is.
ya? How are ya?"
His energy is so weird
It's
coming
so
into
weird.
this.
And he's like, "Didn't go good last time we talked." And then he says, "I'm embarrassed." But he doesn't like here's the difference. This is how it should have went. "Janelle, I thought about what happened between us.
Mhm.
I'm mortified at my behavior.
But I lost my temper.
I never should have talked to you that way. You
Yep.
don't deserve that. I'm so sorry.
Yep.
Let's try to have this conversation." But instead it's like, "I'm embarrassed because you don't have a safe place to talk to now." And like it's still
It's all
all
about him.
centered about him.
All
Right.
about
It's
him.
all
Everything's
about
about
him.
him.
So
And
we get
yeah,
a flashback of the whole fight, which I'm here for. I'm here for.
but it's funny because, in other seasons of I almost said 6 Feet Under. That's not what we're watching. In other
Mm-mm.
seasons of Sister Wives, like that fight would have been the penultimate episode, and we would have seen the lead up to it so much that we would have seen the whole fight before we saw the fight.
Yeah, yeah,
Now it's in reverse. Like we saw the whole fight, but now we're like,
yeah.
piecing it back together afterwards. I don't really know what's happening, but I enjoy it.
Oh, 100%. So Cody tells the camera he was triggered and it was ugly and it was sad. So now he's telling Janelle he cannot let go of Christine. So
No.
he's telling Janelle, "This divorce is affecting everything in my life. And I am morphing or transmuting grief into anger, and I'm not a safe place for you."
Okay. Let's talk a little bit about the timeline here because we know that this is around Valentine's Day, so we're talking
Mm-hmm.
mid-February.
Mm-hmm.
Christine moved to Arizona in early or to Utah in early September.
So it's been almost 6 months.
It's been almost 6 months since she left. They had the divorce talk like 3 months before she left. It's been
True.
almost a year,
Yeah.
and this is all this man can talk about.
And this is supposedly something that he wanted.
Right, because he hates her.
Because he was never attracted to her. They
Right.
didn't have a functioning marriage.
Nope.
So you know what this is about. His
Mhm.
ego.
It's his
She
ego.
left. Yes. So we get a flashback of the fight. He was triggered. Okay, now he tells or
Well,
Janelle tells the camera. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
in that when he's like, going on, he says, you
When
don't
he's
have a safe
transmuting shit.
he's transmuting his shit and says to her that, he wants to be able to complain about Christine to her because she's like, I don't want to be a part of this anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, she's going to meet some man and vomit all over him about our marriage and our divorce.
Yeah. Yeah.
I believe Christine when she says, I don't think about him nearly as much as he thinks I do.
I imagine Christine and David Woolley
Mm-hmm.
curled up on the couch watching anything but this show.
Well, no, we know they watch it together.
Then they go into the bedroom and she puts on something slinky and he puts on chaps and he has all his tattoos out and they get into bed and he is banging her while they're watching Cody. That's what I think happens. I can't even believe I just said oh my god. I don't know where I went to about
You
that.
went somewhere because that was very specific. It was very, very specific.
I'm not saying that's what Timmy and I do.
What you guys don't bang to Cody and Kody on TV.
We watch all of season 7 or 17.
Ah,
Just,
that's your
as a
board.
precursor to our banging.
That's your board.
Oh. But
Just once more.
I do imagine that she and David Woolley have eyes on this.
Oh, that's she every week she's now posting something super happy about herself and how it's a contrast to whatever shit Cody has said that week.
Mhm,
It
mhm.
is similar to Pete Souza every day during the Trump administration
Yes,
posting
yes, with the pictures.
something the exact opposite about the Obama
Yes,
administration.
yes.
It's the shade I'm here for.
I
I'm
love
cool
Pete
for it.
Souza. I'm
I
here
love
for
Pete
that.
Souza. I do.
Um, I will say this, Christine and David Woolley watch this on a VPN. They're not giving him a download.
Oh,
They are
no,
not giving him a
no.
view. They are getting a pirated copy through a VPN so that no one knows.
I'm watching this from Australia while sitting in their house in Utah. We're going all around the world.
All right. So Janelle tells the camera, you need to be a man and separate your relationships like you have for our entire plural marriage and
Uh-huh.
pay attention here. But here's my problem with Janelle. She doesn't say that to him.
No, she says it in the talking head.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
She's afraid of him. She's really scared of him right now.
She does speak up a little bit later,
She
but
does,
not
but
to this extent.
no.
No.
Now, this could also have been this could have been recorded a year later where she had a little bit
Yes.
more distance and she was like,
Yes.
fuck this guy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So Janelle starts by telling him, I want to stay separated. And he tells the camera, I'm surprised that she doesn't want to try to reconcile this.
This,
Like,
you could have knocked him over with a feather at this.
yes,
He did
yes.
not expect this at all. He
We,
expected her to come back with her tail between her legs
mm-hmm,
and apologize to him so she
yes.
could come back.
We see some real weird chemistry between them later. We'll get to it, but
Mhm.
whoa.
Yeah.
So, she says she wants to stay separated. Okay, he says, we've been separated 2 to 3 times in the past, and I always thought it was because of her problems and difficulties with other wives, but not with me.
Right.
Why would she separate from you if she had a problem with Meri?
Just because I could see her just wanting to get out of the house
Maybe just get
and
away
get
from
it
the family.
just get
Yeah,
away
yeah,
from
yeah.
Meri.
Yeah.
And one of the separations was when he decided to move it to them to Utah, and she's like,
Yes,
"I have
from
a house and a
Wyoming.
career in Wyoming, so fuck
Yeah,
off. I'm staying here."
yeah. So Janelle tells Kody, and I think this is a completely reasonable request. I would love to do counseling with you. I really
Yes.
think we need to do counseling, she says, because I still have affection for you.
Mhm.
And instead of saying, yes, that would be great, he goes on a rant about how that's better than what Christine did to him and
Right.
how
This
she just
isn't
left
about
him.
Christine, you motherfucker.
And he says, I was upset because you did Christmas without me. And she says, no, Kody, I'm going to stop you right there. We did not do Christmas without you.
No.
Christine came to the rental, whatever,
Yeah.
after Christmas.
Yeah.
We didn't do Christmas without you.
No, we did Christmas by ourselves. Yes, they were in that rental, and to be honest, given how tiny her little college apartment is, if she was gonna have more than Savannah in that I mean, she was talking about how Hunter was
Yeah.
gonna be in town and sleep on an air mattress,
Yeah.
like, they needed a bigger space. And
Yes.
it's not uncommon for, like, a family that has downsized, if everyone's coming back, to rent a larger house,
I
so we
mean,
can all be together. This is not the craziest thing.
you can't even have a conversation with one of your wives in Janelle's house. You have to go to a neutral spot. And you think you're
Right.
going to reunite your family in Janelle's house? No, they needed a
No.
neutral territory, and that was smart.
That was smart.
I have some Sister Wives trivia for you, girl.
I know, you told me you did. Okay, I'm
Are
a
you
little
ready?
nervous. Yes.
I have a difficult question and an easier question.
Okay.
So we'll start with the more difficult. Okay.
Okay, let's get the hard over first.
Okay. Both because I wrote this question out and then I'm like, it's not really fair to quiz her on stuff that didn't happen on the show.
Okay.
So the second question happened on the show. So you might
Okay.
be okay.
Okay, let's see what
So
happens.
both Janelle and Robin were previously married before entering the family. Who were they
Correct.
married to? And bonus points if you can name how they are related to the rest of the family.
Okay, so Robin was married to David Jessup.
Mm-hmm.
And the Jessups and Christine's family are cousins.
Yep.
In some way, shape, or form.
Yes.
Like second cousins, third cousins, but they are related.
First cousins I have.
First cousins,
Yeah.
okay. And in FLDS world, and actually in LDS world, Jessup is a very common name. There's a lot of Jessups in the world. Janelle is married to Adam, who is Meri's brother.
Oh, you got it, girl. Very good.
Damn.
I will say that David is also the third cousin of Kody.
Okay. Yeah. I knew that there was, I forgot that there
Yes.
was the Kody thing, but I knew Christine and David were related.
Okay, I want to ask you this next question just because it's funny.
Okay.
In season 6,
Oh, God. Okay.
Kody gave one of his daughters the birds and the bees talk, in which he famously said, quote,
Oh,
when you
hormones.
kiss, the person that you kiss, their hormones go into your mouth, and it registers certain things that will stimulate both the heart and the body for other reasons. Then he told the camera, you know what? I've read enough science on it to feel like science backs me. I think kissing is very dangerous. Chemical reactions happen when your bodies touch one another. To whom was he giving this speech?
McKelty and her boyfriend.
Yes. Yes, good.
And it was the most cringe-inducing thing ever.
And
Hormones.
the boyfriend's name was John. It was not
John.
Tony. Yeah.
Yes,
Yep.
it was John.
Yep.
Yeah, no, it's not Taco Tony.
Very good. You win this round.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much for listening to this free preview of our Sister Wives coverage. If you'd like to hear the entire unedited episode, which is about an hour and 20 minutes, you can join Little Miss Recap Extra by clicking on the links in the show notes for Patreon or Supercast. Again, thanks for listening, and we'll see you soon.